Hey YouTube, well it's Monday, I think it's the 5th if I'm not mistaken. It's fairly nice day, very cloudy, not any direct sun, but at least it's not raining. So I just want to show you what I was working on here. I had to get the car inspected and I did that this morning, but what I wanted to show you was I had gotten two photographs here, or copies of pictures from a Cook sawmill. Now Cook is made down south by, I believe, the Cook company, and a fellow wants to have one of the bevel siding cutters for this sawmill. Now you can see it's not one piece here, there's two pieces for the bunk rail, a 2x2 and a 1.5 by 1.5. and a piece of stainless over that. So I'm going to have to make a little bit of a different frame to set the siding cutter on, and I'm going to go by these to do it. I'm going to make them slightly bigger than what he said, just slightly, like a 1/16, to make sure that they fit good. It looks like a nice mill though from what I'm seeing here. It looks like it probably does well, and I think he's happy with it. So I hope these cutters work good for him. So anyway, it's Monday and this is what I'm going to be starting on today now. Okay, so this is a piece of not stainless, but a piece of sheet metal here, and it's set at 3 inches into the cutter. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And that gives me one of the sides of the bevel siding cutter. Let me just grab that here. So this is a piece of 3x8, and that'll be the side, one side. So I need 4 of these. So I'm going to cut 4 of these now. Man, I really like having this cutter, I gotta tell you. It does such a nice job on cutting. I should mount some kind of a light on here. It's a little hard for me to see exactly what's going on here. So I need 2 more yet. I don't know if you can, let me see what you're seeing. This metal right here, this one, is the cutting blade. So down here there's a stop, so you got to line up your mark just a hair past the stop, so you get a nice straight cut there. Now, probably a lot of people have used this edge to cut, and so am I, so it's a little hard to get the cut started. I gotta put both my feet on the pedal, but it still cuts nice. One more. I don't know if you can see that right there, but it cut right on the line. It's perfect. There. That'll give me all the side pieces I need done. Okay guys, so for that Cook sawmill, I'll give you a little bit of an idea of what I'm going to do here. These blocks of wood are the exact thickness for a 2-inch piece of channel that's on the bottom, or the box, that square box beam. So that would go there, and this is going to get welded on the top here. Now this only goes halfway across each one so I can get a good weld bead. Now what I'm going to do to catch the 1.5 inches is I'm going to weld 2 of these onto the inside of this, a 1/16, let's see, an 1/8 of an inch plus a 16, 3/16 more than an inch and a half. Okay, so something, you know, maybe sticking about that far, and then I'll weld that to that. So what you'll have there then is you'll have something that looks, let me see if you guys can see this. Yeah, it's going to be something that looks like this on the inside. That's going to grab a hold of the 1.5 inch piece, and then one of those side pieces, let me see if I can grab all of these. One of these side pieces, let me just hold that. Then one of these side pieces will get welded on there. So that should support that really well as far as the 2 inch going to 1.5 inches. So that's what I'm working on here now. I need 2 more of these yet. This is the sides, there's 4 sides. This is for a set of 2. 4 sides, then the cap for those. This cap will lay on top of the stainless steel. These will center themselves on the 1.5 inch square tube that's there. And then I'll make the piece that goes on the top of that then. So not a lot to it. The top piece is actually the same way I make every other one. It's just that this bottom's a little different. And I noticed too that there's some guys who have a single piece of steel. I don't know what thickness it is, but it's a single piece of steel for a bunk rail. I could easily make one of these to fit that as well, just so you know. Now I'd make it a little heavier because of not having any support sideways like these have, but I'm just saying they could be made. So, and I don't think you can get these bevel siding cutters for as cheap as I can make them from anybody else, but I don't know for certain. I'm just, you know, saying that at the moment. So I got to cut 2 more of these, and then I'll be ready to go with welding it. You know, the one thing nice about using the cutter to cut these rather than a saw is that you don't lose that 1/8 of an inch of grinding when you use a saw or a grindstone. So this is actually what's left from that, from a sheet of this. And the point is that it's, you know, you're not wasting anything, and your cuts are exactly right with that cutter, and you can just go ahead and weld them together. I really like having that cutter. Works very nice. Okay, so what I have here are 2 bases. Those are the bottom section that go onto the sawmill to hold the cutter. So you have, now these are 8 inches long, all of them, exactly 8, just so you know. So I have 2.5 inches, 1, 2 and an 1/8, and then 2 3-inch pieces. That's what I have here, 2 sets of those. And when I weld them together, those will be exactly what I need for this bottom brace that holds the bevel siding cutter onto the cook sawmill. Okay guys, so just to give you an idea of what I have here, let me try and get this all in here. These are the 2 for the bottom. Then the 2 for the top are 3-inch, 2 pieces, 3-inch by 8-inch. Okay. Actually 4 pieces altogether. So you have 2 here, 2 here, and then this top piece is 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. And I have these blocks, like I said, I put these in between the pieces, and when I weld them, they'll be perfect to fit for me. So those are all the basic pieces. This is the whole base. This is basically the top. Now on the top of this, if you haven't seen me make these before, there's on the top piece here, what you have here is you have a stop back here to hold the back of the log. It's not much, it's just a small stop. And then in the front, this gets cut out here so that I can put the key through there that makes it either 1/4 inch or 3/4 of an inch. That's what you're cutting when you cut the bevel siding. Works good for me. I've had no problems, and the people I've sold them to have asked, they've had no problems with them either. So I like it, and the price is right. So anyway, that's what we're at the moment. Somebody's pulling in here, so I don't know if I'm going to have another job to do besides this, but anyway, I'll get back to you. Okay, so I have all of the pieces from the sheet metal made. Now what I need is a piece of quarter inch thick by 3/4 of an inch wide strip. Now I'll make that slightly bigger than that so I can put it in the milling machine to make it exactly right. But for the moment, I need to cut this off because there's a piece coming down here. So I'm just going to cut this off. I have a line on there with the grinder. And then after that, I'll cut a 3/4 inch piece out of that, and that'll give me 2 pieces. I need roughly 2 pieces, 4 inches long, 1/4 of an inch thick, and exactly 3/4 wide. So I'll be cutting that out of that. Okay guys, I have to go look at some timber, but I just wanted to go over this a little bit with you so that if somebody wants to make something like this, you can do it, or you can email me at bullseyemickey@gmail.com and I can make them for you. So, alright, so we have, the base is 2 3" by 8. This is about 2 inches. I have to, let me just check it here. 2 1/8 inches. 2 1/8 by 8. And then the smaller pieces are 1.5 inches by 8. 2 sets of those, and then you need 2 more of the side ones that are 3 inches wide. So 2 more sets actually. So 2 here, 2 there, and then this top to go over top of everything there is 2.5 inches. So these are 2.5 by 8. And then with that you need rod. You need enough rod to go across this piece twice, because you go here and you go on the bottom. All right, so I have those pieces. I have the pieces, but they're actually number 5 bolts. But it doesn't matter, because believe it or not, bolts is cheaper than rod for some reason where I buy stuff. So I have the bolts for that, and then this is the machined piece here that goes on the for the key. You can see that this is machined pretty nice here all the way along there. So this is 3/4 of an inch thick by 3/4 of an inch wide by 1/4 of an inch thick, and I'll probably use about 3 1/4 inches of this. So that's enough for 2 of them. Now the only thing I need to get is a handle to go on this, okay, to be able to open and close the bevel siding cutter, which I haven't had a chance to cut, and I probably won't be able to get it cut now because I've got to run. But I just thought you'd like to see that, so in case you want to make one, or if you're wondering how I make them, this is all 16th inch or number 16 steel, because there's not a lot of weight going on that. Where the weight goes is actually where the 2 bolts are holding up the top plate, and then where this thing goes across. So when you have an 8-inch cant and you set it on there, it's being held up by solid steel, you know, down to your toe board. So it's not really something that has to be heavy. The first one I made out of 1/4 inch steel, and that thing is it's heavy, and it's also a nuisance because it's so heavy. But anyway, I'm not going to show you the whole thing of welding it together because I have a bunch of videos on this. Excuse me. But I just wanted to show you what I actually need to be able to make it. And then there's 2 little pieces that will come up in the back here, like on each one of these, that I didn't cut yet, but there's nothing to that. So, alright guys, well, that's as far as I got to be able to show you. So anyway, have a good one.